I guess just to deal with any speculation around the batting coaching role with Justin Langer heading off to WA, Stuart Law will be taking over for the Test match period during the series. Look, we'll review that at the end of the Test match series and have a look at it that time, but for the rest of the next 5 tests we'll make sure that Stuart's ongoing and that the Test team are the priority over this period.
How big a loss is Justin?
Oh, Justin's a big loss for the Australian side, but it's a really positive story. An assistant coach going to head coach. That was always part of his planning, and when we negotiated with him, funnily enough, we talked about if this opportunity came up, we were very supportive. So there was a clause in his contract to support that and manage that. So it's a great opportunity for him. It's an Australian going from assistant to head coach, and obviously a Perth boy in WA, and it's a fantastic story.
And I imagine Cricket Australia is pretty keen to have someone of his calibre in there. I mean, there's been a bit of turmoil of late. He's the sort of man that would sort it all out.
Justin's ethics and culture are some real strengths about what he brings to coaching, and I think it's a fantastic fit. I've been speaking fairly consistently with the CEO of WA, Chris Matthews, and Ben Oliver, who's the operations manager over there. The dialogue's been fantastic. And I guess the management of Justin going across has been a very, very positive one from our behalf.
You have to find someone to take Stuart's old role here, or is that just an in-house thing?
Oh, well, look, it's going to deal with some challenges. You know, Stuart's obviously had an amazing sort of 8 or 9 months here. He's coached the under-19 team to the final of the ICC, then gone to the women's group and won that competition. So he's thinking ICC competitions are pretty easy, but it's a very good fit. Obviously, a former Test player as well. That sits with some of the values that the Australian team really want to buy into, and so Stuart was there all week. We obviously knew this a little bit prior to you guys, and so he's had a full week of training with the Test team all last week.
And he's got, I suppose, in the same way as JL, he's got a lovely sort of hard edge to him, hasn't he? Like he's no one's fool. He's a hard man and a solid individual.
Yeah, Stuart's a really solid individual, and he's made a real impact. And I think the fact that he's got experience not only in Australia but the subcontinent, and England was one of the big interests that helped deal with the players of the future, and that's where he was brought in to deal with the players of the future. And obviously he's got an impact now to work over the next couple of weeks with the players of now. And the balance for Stuart will be where's he best served and where he can best make an impact in the long term for Australian cricket.
Your specialist coaching positions like bowling, batting coaches, are they sort of seen as full-time during summer or full-time during tours, or how are you guys going to position those, do you think?
Yeah, look, we look for like fit and how it's complementary to the team that exists now. Obviously, in the past year there have been some changes, strength and conditioning, obviously fast bowling with Craig, and there have been a couple of changes there. So we want to make sure this is an opportunity, and we're in a unique place where it's a bit of a try before you buy for both Stuart and for the team. But also we need to make sure the backfilling there is under-18 talent camps here, AIS scholars, Australia A programs. There's plenty going on here as well. So there's plenty of work to do, and we don't want to stretch them too far.
With the tours to India and England next year, Pat, considering Stuart's experience in both those sort of areas, does that, I guess, maybe even heighten his appeal to stay as the batting coach?
Oh, look, it'll be invaluable, and funnily enough, Stuart, when he was in Sri Lanka, was working both with women, but also came across and worked with the men as well in that tournament, and provided a role to both. So his experience in the subcontinent, be it India, be it Sri Lanka, be it Bangladesh, and in England, obviously a significant amount of time, was one of the reasons that he was a really strong candidate at the COE, and he's done a great job. So look, Justin is a real loss for us, but a great position for WA. But I think at the same stage, this sort of succession planning is important, and I think in this case we have an answer that we can deal with in the short term.
Any further update on Shane Watson?
Shane's progressing, and look, if the Test match was tomorrow, no, he wouldn't be playing, but he's progressing, and look, I think when the team goes in on Sunday, we'll have a far better indication of where he's at, and the selection panel meet over the next couple of days, and I'm sure they'll be in constant dialogue with the medical staff during those couple of days.
There always seems to be a fair bit of fudging on the question of whether Shane could play or could be selected just as a batsman.
Yep.
That's always one that sort of gets put in there. Oh yes, well we've got to sit down and talk about it. Is there any fixed policy in place that says unless he can do both roles, he's not playing?
For different series, there are different policies. There's a position that the selection panel take. So there are times that over the past 12 months he has been considered in both roles and sometimes as a batsman only. But very much at Adelaide, they're looking to his bowling and his fitness around bowling and to see if he's capable of doing both. And as you saw during the series, at the Test match only the other day, a fair few bowlers were called on, and Shane's value to be able to do both is pretty strong.
So just to clarify, for the Protea series, the South African series, unless he can bowl, he probably won't be in the side.
Yeah, it'll go against him significantly.
Okay, and Sri Lanka?
We'll sit down and map that out as we go through. So that one's not defined as of yet, and but we have different selection strategies depending on the games and series and formats.
He's supposed to be bowling in the nets on Friday. Is that critical to his selection hopes?
Oh, look, it's the whole week and how he progresses, and every time you look at people, it's how they're progressing. So, look, there's a long way till the Test starts, and it's so look, obviously, always the conversation and dialogue was going to be around Shane, and look, we'll see how he's going. It's a little bit early to tell, but I know the selection panel are very close to the medical staff here, and they'll be dialling that in over the next couple of days.
There's some suggestion that he might be able to play in the Ryobi Cup game on Sunday. Is that an intention?
Oh, look, I know that was discussed even as recently as 48 hours ago, New South Wales, and I've been talking to Cricket New South Wales regarding that, and look, it looks unlikely. The team goes in on Sunday, and obviously there's a red ball versus white ball conversation as well, so it looks unlikely at this stage, but never say never.
Why wouldn't he be considered just as a batsman? I mean, you would think just on batting alone, like if you sort of got the runs on the board ahead of someone like Viney or whatever, but like he's won a couple of Allan Border medals, and I know that had something to do with his bowling too, clearly, but why couldn't he potentially just be considered as a batsman?
Oh, look, the value and the balance of the team is where the selection panel talk about. This is selection panel's call and how they come together on this. But look, they assess all of that, the value of it. I know John Inverity very much looks at the ability, what's our ability to bowl lots and lots of overs, and we're in a pretty unique position the other day where Rob Quiney was bowling for us and doesn't bowl for Victoria. So, look, the ability for people to take up some bowling slack and credibly is important. So without making it a Shane Watson conversation, the ability to take overs up was pretty well demonstrated in that first Test.
And I suppose going into Adelaide, whether he plays or not, is another thing, but it's probably nice having Mitchell Starc in the squad just in case you need to mix things up a bit.
Yeah, look, you probably saw, Ben, that we had a fair few bowlers around the squad in the lead up to the Test match, and then guys go back and play Shield. Josh Hazelwood was there for much of the week, as was Mitchell. So we're very much looking at making sure those guys are ingrained in with the squad. We did that all last year. Mitchell Starc and Ryan Harris were around the team for the early part of the Indian series. Mitchell Starc went across to the West Indies and barely played towards the end. So we very much want that extra bowler around to get involved with the culture and make sure that they're ready and around the plans if required.